Something I kind of want to talk about today is the quote unquote performative male. I've seen this term thrown around a lot. I had already assumed what it had meant, and I thought I knew what it had meant without seeing like a definition of it really. But I feel like I guess, original definition is losing its meaning and it's kind of becoming a buzzword. And with this topic, I want to talk about Kai Cenat because a lot of people are saying he's being performative as he's done his rebrand from his typical streaming content. And a lot of people have had mixed feelings on it, but I first want to look at a couple of definitions of performative male. So, first, we have the AI overview, which I wish you could turn this shit off. A performative male is a Gen Z slang term for a man who insincerely adopts quote unquote soft, sensitive, or progressive traits, such as reading feminist literature, drinking matcha, or wearing specific fashion primarily to attract women or gain social approval. Pretty much faking yourself for the approval of women or the attraction of women to get love and romance from a woman so they can fall in love with you. Then we have Merriam-Webster. Performative male is a disparaging or dismissive term for a man who engages insincerely in certain activities or behaviors to appear safe, sophisticated, feminist, and thus appeal to women. And then they have examples of the use of performative male from different places online. So one quote from somebody on Reddit: I didn't think performative males ever knew what it means to be a man. I just hope the women see through this. You've got to walk the walk and talk the talk to be a true feminist. The performative male are men reading books for attention, which is actually a headline for The Independent. Now, on Merriam-Webster, they also have this little heading: how is performative male used? Disapprovingly and dismissively, perhaps more so than similar. Older coinages such as metrosexual. What is metrosexual? What the fuck? Although a lot of the online conversation involving the term is devoted to trying to decipher exactly what behaviors slash hobbies, etc., qualifies someone as a performative male, matcha comes up a lot, they have in parentheses. There are also performative male contests popping up around the country and world, satirizing the concept and playing up the stereotypes associated with the term. So that's just a couple of things about performative male. And if we go to Urban Dictionary, because I love Urban Dictionary, a subgenre of nice guys that tries too hard to be in touch with their feminine side or pretends to like things like K-pop, tote bags, reading, matcha again, Luffy, or the like to improve their popularity with girls. This will often mean dishing their true selves to put up a facade for their partner 24/7 and may lead to strain in the relationship when their partner learns he was only acting in that manner to get some action. These are some of the definitions that align with how I interpreted performative male. Dudes who are basically faking it so they can get some poom poom, so they can get some pussy, so they can get some so they can get some cat. I can say this because I've met dudes like this fake their interests or even mere interests of women that they like so that they can start dating or whatever. So performative males do exist. However, I feel like it's becoming a buzzword because if a man is trying to actually improve himself and do things that are maybe outside of the standard of what is considered masculine or manly, they're called performative. But if they're not looking for the approval of others or women are trying to put on a facade, then how is that performative? And I feel like it goes towards toxic masculinity. And some definitions of toxic masculinity, we have the AI overview. Toxic masculinity refers to harmful, rigid societal norms that pressure men to act tough, suppress emotions, and assert dominance through aggression. Then we have the Cambridge definition: ideas about the way men should behave that are seen as harmful. For example, the idea that men should not cry or admit weakness. They have a bullet point saying the idea that men are just naturally violent is a manifestation of toxic masculinity. And then they have fewer examples here. Toxic masculinity says that things like poetry or flowers are for girls and women, and that it is shameful for men to like them. Defines manhood very narrowly in the terms of violence, sex, status, and aggression. Men who are actually trying to improve themselves and they're not being performative. It seems as if they genuinely get clowned for that. And I feel like that comes from toxic masculinity. This bullet point just says, like, there's like this narrow definition of what manhood is. And if you go outside of the norms of what manhood is, then you're gonna get clowned for it. You're gonna be called corny, you're gonna be called cringe, you're gonna be called performative, a performative male that you're faking it. I wanna talk about Kai Cenat because everyone, most people, I don't wanna say everyone, most people know who Kai Cenat is. He is one of the top Twitch streamers out there. He's grown in popularity in the past, good couple of years. And Kai decided, like I think a couple of months ago, he decided that he wanted to do a rebrand. He had like this awakening, and pretty much he's now, as far as I know, because I don't really watch him, I'm not on his Twitch or anything, he isn't really streaming anymore. He's not streaming. I think he did gaming. He did all kinds of stuff where celebrities and rappers would come to his place and they would do a stream together. He would do streamathons, which I bet are fucking mentally exhausting to do that for so many fucking hours. But people also knew Kai as this like energetic guy, like genuine guy, but also like very all over the place. Maybe not necessarily in a bad way, but it's how a lot of people know him. Kind of like how you would know I Show Speed or maybe even Rakai, maybe. He has had this rebrand and he started a channel called Kai's Mind where he's pretty much documenting the stuff he's trying to do to improve himself. Was very unexpected for a lot of people and unexpected for Kai fans, for a lot of diehard Kai fans who know him as this Twitch personality, but now he's shifting over to something a lot more toned down, it seems. People have like their little awakenings in life, want to do better for themselves, change their lives, and they take the work to do it or to pursue things that they actually like or that's going to help them in the long run. However, by doing this, of course, there was a lot of backlash. There was a lot of people, which I'm seeing a lot of videos on YouTube calling him performative. And I think that's where the buzzword comes in because I don't think Kai is being performative. I think he's being genuine. Okay, so he's being performative because he's posting it on the internet. He's like, he knows he's going to give views for it. I feel like that's false in a way because yes, he's recording it. He's a streamer. He was making content for so long and maybe he wants to document this. There's a lot of people on YouTube who use YouTube and uploading of videos to document something in their life, their improvement, their progress, their creativity, their journey. Like that's not a new thing. So for him to record it is not all that off. It's not weird. I don't think that's him being performative. I know a lot of people have talked about Kai reading because that was going so like viral because him reading on camera was, I guess, a problem. I'll say this from my personal experience. I'm trying to get back into reading more, especially more chapter books because I have a lot of manga. But getting back into reading more chapter books, more of my textbooks. And honestly, when I saw Kai upload his first part, I didn't know he was like consistently uploading parts to him reading. This is the first time I'm looking at his channel. But when he uploaded that and a lot of people were talking about it, it kind of inspired me a little bit that he's openly saying that he wants to read more, as in this title here, reading for 20 minutes to help me talk better, so he can articulate himself better. And if anything, that's one of the reasons I'm trying to read more. Aside from I want to get through my books, I want more books, I love books. Reading does help you articulate better. And especially now when a lot of people struggle to read, especially when the younger generation and younger people nowadays are struggling to read, and a lot of teachers have talked about this. I looked at some of these reading videos and I want to compare two comment sections that I feel like show two different sides of how people are perceiving Kai and this new journey of his or this new Kai that he's trying to express to the world. First one that I looked at was reading for 15 minutes to help me speak better, part 21. So this was uploaded on January 13th. And this got a lot of views. It got 800K views. Getting better at reading is a process, especially if you're getting back into reading when you don't read a lot. And I was watching the video a little bit and there are some areas where Kai can improve. I know one comment said in one of the other videos I'm going to talk about, that he's running through punctuation. Like, he's not very much considering punctuation. He's reading the book like it's a run-on sentence. And that's something that he can improve. That's a good thing. Because, we've learned that, periods are like end off a statement, or that commas add those necessary pauses, or exclamation points add the expression or excitement. That's something that he can improve on. This video's comment section was painful to read because, as to me, I think Kai is being genuine and trying to improve himself, improve his life more for himself, not for any women. A lot of these comments clown him for it, just like what had initially happened when he posted his first part to his reading series. Comments like "reading like it hurts, this gotta be the most performative shit I have ever seen, bruh. You make reading look hard, nigga using his finger to read, nigga just forcing himself to read, bro's reading at gunpoint, this nigga holding a book, embodiment of performative, LMAO." A lot of the negative comments will get more traction on videos, no matter what platform it is. And yes, these people could be joking, or they could be a part of his audience and they're just joking in a way, but there's actually people who are clowning him for reading. Now, I will say, as some comments have said, he is blowing through like the commas and the punctuation. It sounds like he's doing like a whole run-on sentence, but that's something that he can improve on. That's definitely something that he can improve on. And that's why he's trying to read more, so he can improve on things like that. Especially if you're used to talking really fast. In your speech, you might blow through commas, but then again, like, written language versus spoken language differs. For his part 13 of this series, a lot more people are encouraging him. "Hey Kai, I just want to say thanks for reading this book. I bought this book 3 years ago and never ended up reading it, but thanks to you, I was able to watch all 13 parts and finally finish the book. Kai, you're doing great. Keep pushing for more, my guy. You're doing so good and I'm enjoying listening. I've never been a great reader. In school, I had people read to me, so it became a crutch, and I grew to be a weak reader. I started a book club last year to motivate me to read, and now I love reading. I read 8 books last year, and my goal this year is 12. Good luck on your journey." And then, of course, people giving him advice and pointers on how he can do better with reading. So, like we mentioned with the punctuation, someone says, "Acknowledging punctuation will help your speech. You're running through the punctuation as if they don't exist. Stop at periods, pause at the commas. Doing this will also aid in you better comprehending what you read. Please slow down, deliberate practice." So this comment section is way more supportive than one of his other videos. It's funny that people have clowned Kai for reading and genuinely wanting to articulate himself better, or just taking the time to read a book or look up a word, or if he's struggling to, read properly and not go through the punctuation. It's funny that people are criticizing him for wanting to improve this when you have streamers like Rakai, where I watched the video called Rakai speaks 0 languages. I'm sorry, that was just so funny because before I even clicked on the video, I already knew what that meant. I clicked on the video and dude was speaking like XQC. If you've ever seen XQC talk, I used to watch him all the time. If you've ever seen XQC talk, you can't understand him all the time. And that's how Rakai was talking. And that's not to, I don't know, maybe not to say that makes them inarticulate, but it makes them not seem like they're able to articulate properly in just basic settings. There was a clip where Rakai was trying to spell medicine, and I don't know if he just smashed the keyboard and said, "Fuck it, I don't know how to spell this word," or he was actually spelling it the way that he did, which had a lot of consonants at the end when there's a couple of vowels in medicine, or where he was talking to somebody on stream and was trying to ask her ethnicity, but he couldn't pronounce the word ethnicity properly. An issue for Rakai, and he's actually struggling with this. This is why reading is important, because it helps you better articulate yourself. Because it's funny that people are clowning Kai and calling him performative for wanting to read, but we have people like Rakai who speaks 0 languages, and maybe he doesn't want to end up like that. Reading isn't the only thing that Kai's been doing on this channel. He's also just kind of showcasing his workouts. He's also seemingly getting into sewing and trying to learn how to design clothes. I don't know if he's trying to start a brand or something, or he's just doing it for fun. And he's also posting videos talking about, for example, stop caring about what people think. why repetition is important, believing in yourself, just a lot of different stuff. And if anything, I like this for Kai, but the fact that people are calling it performative tells me that people are losing what performative male even means. I don't think he's doing this for any woman's approval. I think he's doing this for himself. Or people are saying he's trying to come off a certain way. I don't know. You really can't say that someone's performative if you don't know their intentions. But I feel like Kai's intentions versus the actual performative males are two completely different things. And before I close out this video, I want to talk about Kai and kind of parallel it to Black Boy Joy. There is a content creator, and I mainly follow them on Instagram. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Kadeem Thiam. He's 23 and he records him and his friend group, who are other Black men, doing things that would be considered feminine or unmanly. So, for example, they've gone out to drink matcha. They've gotten manicures or learned how to do manicures, Pilates. They've done cooking classes. They've done all kinds of things that would be considered for women and that is unmanly, not masculine. They call themselves One Strong Brotherhood, and they want to break the stereotypes about Black men and them having to be like strong, or men having to be aggressive and everything that society has taught men to be. I think that this is a good thing because it allows them to try new things without judgment among each other. It allows them to be happy, it allows them to be vulnerable and show emotion, which society tells boys not to do. It's stuff like this that gives me hope for the fucking world. And I want to say that I think that Kai is channeling Black Boy Joy, because if he were still streaming the same way that he was, he probably would not be trying to read more. He probably wouldn't be trying to learn how to sew. He's channeling something genuine for him. He's channeling this awakening that happened for him, and he wants better for himself. I don't think that's performative, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If we're going to consider self-improvement, genuine self-improvement, as a performative thing, I don't know what to fucking tell people. But yeah, that's it for this video. I just want to talk about that because I was watching some videos about Kai being performative. I've seen it since he's had this rebrand, but it's just something that I wanted to express myself in my own video, because I really think it's sad that how if a man tries to improve himself genuinely or do things that are outside of the like gendered stereotypes, then he's considered less of a man, or that he is putting on a facade for women, or to be a simp, or all this shit. It's stupid as fuck. Let people live their lives the way that they want to. Let people want better for themselves. I think everyone should want better for themselves and should have the opportunity to take the steps to do so. That's it for this video. If you agree with anything that I said or disagreed with anything that I said, please let me know. Do you know about Kai Cenat and his rebrand? What do you think about it? Do you think he's being performative, or do you think that he's just had a change in his mindset, which is normal for all people to do? But yeah, that's it for this video, and until the next one, whatever I talk about.